Guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about and making some pemmican. And for those of you that don't know what pemmican is, it's the ultimate survival food, ain't it? One serving of it is about 2,200 calories. And basically, all that pemmican is you take some kind of really lean meat, and in this case, we're going to be using deer meat, venison. The Indians used to use a lot of bison, and they would use elk. But anyway, we're going to take some deer meat. The Lord's really blessed us this year. We've got to put a lot of meat in the freezer, especially this guy.
You kill him just because I have.
We've done well. The Lord's been really blessed us. If you follow along and watch any of our videos, we've been talking about how we like to have at least 150 pound of burger. Well, we've blowed that out of the water. We finished up another 50 pounds last night, and I think it gives us about 160 or 170 some pounds maybe that we've got to put up this year of just burger, not counting roast and steaks and tenderloin and all that. So what we're going to do, we're going to make this pemmican. If you are a fan of keto, then pemmican is definitely for you, because what it is, we're going to take our deer meat, we're going to make jerky, no seasoning, nothing whatsoever. We're going to dry some meat out. Part of it is the meat. We're going to take a few blueberries, which about 5% is going to be dried berries. We're going to crush all that up, and then we're rendering down some fat, and a portion of that's fat, and we're going to make it into cakes, kind of like brownies, and that's what's going to be our pemmican. And the good thing about it is, what was it, 10 pounds is enough food to last a man for a month.
Back in the Revolutionary and Civil War, they used it to feed the soldiers.
Yeah.
Because you could give them one little old bar, and that's enough for a breakfast, lunch, and dinner all in one.
Well, is it one? If you size your bars right, one bar is 2,200 calories. So, I mean, that's awesome. And there was even a battle that was fought over pemmican, because one supplier was supplying both sides of a confrontation pemmican. So they had a pemmican battle. But anyway, all right, guys, I'm enough boring and rambling around here. We're going to go ahead and get started. This is going to be a couple-day process. So in this section, what I've done, let me turn the camera around and I'll show you. A batch of burger that we run. A friend of mine had killed some hogs, and he had about 25 pounds of hog fat. And this is super clean. It's outstanding looking hog fat. So what me and Jeremiah's gonna do,
Good and buttery.
it's really good. So what me and Jeremiah's gonna do, we're gonna render this hog fat down. And you can see I've just got it on a super low temperature. I've got it on as low as it'll go. And we're just gonna let this just slowly heat up just a little bit here, just as slow as we can get. Once I get the bottom coated all the way, I'm gonna go ahead and add a few more chunks. But we're just gonna go ahead and liquefy all this fat and get all the crackling out of it. And we're gonna strain it. And then I'm gonna pour it into a pan over here and let it firm back up. I've got the other pan sitting there. It's good to use a wax paper in the bottom of your pan so it doesn't stick or anything. But we're gonna go ahead and get started on this, and once we get it good and started, I'll cut the camera back on and show you our process. All right, guys, we're about a half hour in, and it's gonna be kind of tough to see, but just keeping everything on low. And you can see I've got a lot of grease in the bottom right there. It's working down real good. You don't want to really cook it. Cooking it on high scorches a lot of the fat, and you don't want to render down as good. And plus, cooking it on high cooks out a lot of the amino acids and the fatty acids that you actually want to stay in there for nutritional purposes. All right, we'll get back with you in just a little bit. All right, guys, there's where we're at so far. I got every bit of the fat that I had. in the pot now. And you see it's working down really good. We'll have a big run. Still got it low, and I'm just coming in here and stirring it just every now and then, keeping everything from scorching. It smells like country ham. All right, guys, we're mostly done. All you see there is just the crackling stuff left. So Jeremiah's got this strainer, and he's gonna scoop all that out a little bit at a time and let it drain real good. And we're gonna discard it in this bowl here. All right, guys, there's what we wound up with after we got everything rendered down. We've got 3 full quarts of lard. We're gonna let this solidify, and while this is solidifying, we'll be working on prepping our meat and berries and such, getting them dried and ground up. So there's where we're at so far. First step is done. Alright, guys, I got the blueberries drying now. Then got the lard rendered down for the fat. And while these are working off, we're going to be working on the meat. Alright, guys, got a dehydrator full of the deer meat we're going to use for our pemmican. Got some left over, we may trim some more up later on. Also, got my oven as low as it'll go, and I've got a rack drying in the oven also. All right, once we get all this meat dried, we're going to get it chopped up, and then we'll start mixing everything together for our pemmican. So, turn you back on here in just a few minutes. All right, here's our powdered meat. We dehydrated this and then put it in a blender and blended it all up. Right here is our powdered berries. We dehydrated those and then blended them up. I've got a big bowl here that I'm gonna mix everything in. And then when I'm done, I've got this dish. I've got it lined with some wax paper, and we're gonna put everything in this dish and let it firm up. Right now we've got our the lard, the fat that we had rendered down. We've got it right here in this bowl of hot water. We're letting it soften up, and once it gets soft enough where we can pour it and measure it, we're gonna start mixing some ingredients together. All right, guys, so we wound up with 1 quart of the powdered meat, and we had a lot more of the powdered blueberries than we did than we need for our ratio. What they recommend when you're making this pemmican is you put 50-50 fat versus meat, and then you add in 5% of that is your berry powder. So we had 1 quart of the dried meat. Over on the stove, we've got a 1 quart jar of the fat, and we went ahead and added in our berries. And what Jeremiah's doing is mixing all the dry powder up. And a lot of people say how pemmican just doesn't have much flavor, doesn't have much taste. So what we done, we went ahead and added a couple tablespoons full of salt and a couple tablespoons full of sugar just in our dry mix here. So once it gets all this mixed up and our fat gets good and melted, we'll start blending everything. So I'll cut you back on when we start doing our blending. All right, guys, we got our fat back to liquid. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix it in here. dried meat and berries and everything. Boy, it really sucks it in. All right, guys. There's my pemmican. It's all set up now. We've made it into a little cake. It didn't turn out exactly like I was hoping it would. Gonna be just completely honest. I'm not real wild about it. I mean, you could live off of it if you were starving, I guess. Gonna have to work on maybe some different kind of recipe, some different kind of something to put in it. I don't know. It's kind of hard to eat right now. So, but anyway, guys. So there's our pemmican. If you have ever made this before, leave me a comment down below. Maybe tell me your recipe or maybe what I've done wrong. But all right, guys. Thank y'all for watching, and hope everybody has a blessed day.